Yo, what is good, AFC East Roundtable fans? Welcome back to another segment of the AFC East Roundtable. I know you guys look forward to this episode every single Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, the Jets are the only team that is officially eliminated from the playoffs, so I don't really have too much to say, but I am indeed hosting this one. So I'll be asking some questions. I'll be giving my takes on the Jets, even though none of you guys care about it. But we're on Jets Media's channel, so we got a lot of Jets talk to get into as well.
Yo, man,
because we are going up against the Dolphins. So Dan, I hear you, man. We care about the Jets no matter what, no matter if we're terrible or great. And as you can see, the one and only Ray will be filling in for Master at work. He is a familiar face on the AFC East Roundtable. He's been here quite a lot. So Ray, why don't you introduce yourself and how you doing today, my man?
Doing well. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me back yet again.
Yeah, how does it feel to be back on top?
As I was telling you guys in the off screen, like this is just kind of old hat for us. So it just no, listen, like real talk. And Dan called me out, I think, on the last AFC's roundtable. I had the Patriots winning 8 games this year. I really thought they were an 8-win team. They've already made me look stupid, which I'm fine looking stupid this way.
It's just one game off,
bro. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's why it looks stupid.
But no, I mean it's been quite a pleasant. Anytime a team trying to explain this as a Patriots fan, the last 15, 20 years, expectations were always ridiculous. And I think when you have Super Bowl or bust expectations, like you're set up to be let down a lot. Like I know the Patriots went to 9 of them, won 6 of them. I'm not even saying that in a brag way. That was literally, though, our expectations. And I've heard Tyson talk about, like, that's our expectation every year was always Super Bowl or bust. And when it doesn't happen, you're just let down. Losing the AFC Championship game, you're stomping around and you want to clear house. Okay, we got to fucking rebuild. You know what I mean? Obviously, this team's not the team to do it. And it's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous mindset. So I think after having that, that one really humbling year with Cam Newton and, everything that transpired last season, and I think to come into this year and have sort of mid expectations to low expectations to have the expectations exceeded. I mean, right now, as far as I'm concerned, the Patriots are playing with house money. So I'm just enjoying it, to be real with you.
Yeah, Ray's back to his old ways, back to what he's used to. Congrats, Ray. Yeah.
Well, I liked Ray last year and about halfway
nice.
after this year, but I have a feeling that we're going to butt heads a little bit during this episode.
That segues into Dan. How you feeling today, Dan? The Buffalo Bills? How you feeling about your Bills?
Man. Honestly, the way that our team as a whole has been performing. I mean, obviously, like you were telling me, it's been driving me to drink. Right? Let's be honest with ourselves. That Tampa Bay game, I'm not going to be the guy that's going to be like, oh, like there was a bunch of penalties not called, which is true. There was not a lot. The one thing that kept me happy was the fact that regardless of who you are, objectively, Josh Allen fucking balled that entire second half. 300 yards passing, 100 yards rushing. And really, at the end of the day, he put that team exactly on his back. And he was the only person out there that even gave us an absolute chance of winning. There's not a quarterback in this division right now that if you had to rely on your quarterback to single-handedly win you a game, you can't tell me otherwise. Josh Allen is not the problem at all, ever. Based off of that second half, he was absolutely balling. I'm nervous about his ankle injury. I'm sort of nervous about it, but at the end of the day, I see TD over here. He's sitting there just ready to go in on me. But I mean, legitimately, everybody, even the professionals, are saying the exact same thing, that Josh Allen absolutely balled. He was the only reason that we were even having a chance of coming back to win that game against Tampa Bay. My opinion, I mean, we're going to get into this going into the Panthers game on Sunday. He's iffy at this point. I have full faith in Mitch Trubisky to go out there and beat the Panthers. I really do. Let's not go on ahead and risk hurting Josh Allen. These games are very important. Let's go on ahead and we'll put Mitch Trubisky out there. Let's go on ahead. Let's get this dub against the Panthers. And then, as many of you guys remember, you can even go back into my receipts. I said toward the beginning of the season, I had a splitting with the New England Patriots. And I told you that from the very beginning. In fact, I think I even said that we were going to lose at home and then go into Foxborough and win. So, there's a lot of anxiety going into it, but without a doubt, there is no doubt in my mind that we are going to go on ahead and walk into the playoffs, and then hopefully we'll be able to, get hot at the right time.
You love the optimistic approach, as you should, Dan, as you should. We got a $2 don't know conspiracy theorist, Rogers. I thought the Bills were supposed to be good. LMFAO.
First off,
Dan,
let me say this. Let me say this. No one in the world can say which team in the NFL is the best team in the NFL. Nobody can say that. This season, it has been so inconsistent all across the board. Nobody can genuinely look you in the eye and tell you who the best team in the NFL is. Who can, honestly?
Damn.
Money. Who is the best team in the NFL? We don't know.
The Miami Dolphins.
Dude, here we go.
I just looked you in your eyes and said it.
TD, all right. Honestly, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm just going to throw this out there. If the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs this year, I will get your logo tattooed on my ass. I will get your TD PHINS TALK logo.
He's gonna renege like Matt said. Work.
No,
that's all.
Hey, listen. I swear to you, bro. I will make an entire video on it. Send me your logo, and I will get it tattooed on my ass.
Dad, I wouldn't do
make
that.
the playoffs. I will.
I see. The problem is, I don't want you taking the number 2 on us every chance you get. Okay. All right, Richie, is it my turn, sir?
Yeah, TD. Let me hear your thoughts. Obviously, you're coming off you didn't win this week. Sorry to tell you that, but
we won. We won.
I know. I'm just messing with you. So you had a bye week. You're still on that win streak. So why don't you give us your thoughts about the Miami Dolphins and what they've been able to do in terms of their win streak?
All right, let me talk about the Dolphins, but please later, let me respond to what Dan said later, okay?
Yeah.
Listen, man. The Dolphins, we got some rest. We were chilling out. And while we were chilling, getting rest, almost everything we needed to happen in the AFC happened. And this week, when we beat the Jets, we're going to be right there, tied with everybody else for the wild card spot. And it doesn't do anything but go up from there, man. I got to be honest with you, though. This ain't about the Dolphins. I've actually been feeling this sense of humility lately. When you realize you're about to run the table, go to the playoffs, and potentially win the Super Bowl, you stop worrying about the little peasants that are going to be beneath you. Like Buffalo, like the fake Patriots, and no disrespect, Richie, but the, imitation Jets. I have a sense of not even concerned about any of your teams at this point because we're going to take care of business and we're going to shock the world. This is history in the making, and y'all witnessing it. You can deny it, and I want you to deny it, but every week you'll see. That's all, Richie. I just feel good. Super Bowl.
Yo, TD, where's the energy tonight, man?
I just told you. Oh no, I'm gonna give you energy when I respond to what you said. Don't worry.
I hear what you're saying, TD. You're talking crap about the Jets. You're not scared about anybody in the AFC East. I see where you're at, but the Jets about to humble you this Sunday and shock the world because we're coming for you. No, I'm just kidding. I really cannot say that with confidence, with a straight face, to be honest, with all the injuries that we're sustaining, plus the everything going on with the Jets. So my quick thoughts about the New York Jets right now, it's just so unfortunate where any type of positive thing with the Jets gets injured. This man right here, Elijah Moore, perfect example. 5 straight games of phenomenal play, has the most touchdowns in the league out of any receiver in the 5-game span, has the most fantasy points, has all these stats going for him. Him and Zach Wilson finding that chemistry, giving Jets fans excitement for the future. Oh, my God, they're going to gain chemistry. It's going to be great. He hurt. Elijah Moore on the IR. You don't got to worry about him because I know he tortured your asses 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, he gave us the business. Okay. Easy W there.
But the one man that's back from injury, and he got injured in the game against the Dolphins, which is Michael Carter, a rookie running back. He was torching you guys all throughout that first half. He had that 40-yard run that set up first and goal, and he's been injured for the past 4 games. He was on IR, and he's been a big bright spot to this team. And, of course, 4 games of phenomenal play from a rookie running back. You're on the injured reserve list. But luckily for us, he'll be back in this game against the Miami Dolphins. And I just want to let you know, TD, the only way this Jets team on offense in particular is going to be able to do anything is if Michael Carter does everything for us, because the receivers, Corey Davis is out for the year. Elijah Moore is out. Our receivers are just completely, non-existent without our top 2 guys. And Michael Carter is going to have to be the guy to be able to really elevate this offense and help out Zach Wilson. So overall, man, this Jets team has just really been ridiculed with injuries all year long. And going into the year, you guys hear me every single week say that this was never about wins and losses for the Jets. It was about building a foundation right now. And, obviously it's not going the right way for the Jets. We're 3-10. We're officially eliminated from the playoffs. And Zach Wilson's going through some big time growing pains. He's coming off winning Rookie of the Week against the Eagles and then against the Saints. He did not have a good game at all. He just had a really bad game in terms of timing and accuracy issues. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do against this Dolphins team that has a really good secondary, really good defense. I think the X factor is going to be about the run game in order for that game. But overall, this Jets team, it's kind of like, I know you guys in the comments are always like, oh, poor Richie, I feel so bad for him. Like, you know what? If I had aspirations to make the playoffs this year, if I had aspirations of the Jets making noise and we were at where we're at today, I'd be a little more upset. But the reality is, if you go back to training camp, I wasn't expecting anything big time in terms of wins and losses. I know that this season was all about building a foundation with the head coach and the quarterback and looking in the long term. And no, obviously there's a lot of things that's been concerning for the Jets in terms of their defense, in terms of their inconsistency at the quarterback position. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of players on this Jets offense in particular, like our left guard, Elijah Vera Tucker, who's proven to be one of the best young left guards for the future in the NFL. Elijah Moore is definitely a foundation piece. Michael Carter's a foundation piece. We had a home run in this draft class. So there are some positives to take away from this Jets season, and I'm hopeful that Zach Wilson can finish off the season on a positive note, but that's going to be tough to do without all of his top weapons on the perimeter. So he's definitely going to have to step up his game. So that's my take about the Jets. Ray, let's get back to you, my man. The Patriots, right? They're coming off a bye as well. Who you got this week?
Colts. Biggest game.
Colts.
Biggest game of the year for the Patriots right now.
So why don't we go over all of the previews? So Ray, give us your thoughts about the Colts game, your expectations. How did they have to come out with a W? I think that this probably will be the biggest test for the Patriots this year because the Colts, I think, are a very slept-on team in the AFC. I think they match up pretty well against you guys just in terms of how good they are in the trenches. So what's your thoughts about this game going up against the Indianapolis Colts on Saturday Night Football?
Yeah, you hit it talking about the matchup because I look at this Colts and Patriots team and no two teams match up the way they match up in any game this season. I described it the other day. It's going to be like a competitive practice against each other because they're so similar in how they play. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is going to be the factor. And when you look at what the Patriots have to do to try to beat the Colts is you can't sell out and stop Jonathan Taylor. Like teams just don't do that. It's not, it's not something that happens. You got to try to slow him down. The Patriots are going to run a 3-4. That's what they play. Matthew Judon, obviously on the outside, has to stop anything and set that edge, but it's going to come down to Christian Barmore, Davin Gotcha, who was a very underrated signing for the Patriots. He's not there to make the splash plays. He's there to stop the run. He's there to get dirty. And then Lawrence Guy, obviously, as well. But I think where the game really comes, it falls on the other side for the Patriots. It's if you don't want Jonathan Jones to hurt you, put points on the board and make Carson Wentz throw the football. And Carson Wentz, I think, takes more heat than he deserves. He actually hasn't had a bad season. He's got some good weapons there, like Jack Doyle, obviously his tight end. Michael Pittman, I believe, is one of the more underrated receivers in the NFL. But I like the matchup of J.C. Jackson and Pittman. I think they kind of cancel each other out. Two big, strong boys. Takes away those 50-50 balls on both sides. So it's going to be trying to – you're never – if you get into a game where you're trying to stop Jonathan Taylor, it's going to blow up in your face. It's going to be trying to slow him down and putting points on the other side. The guy who's going to have to step up the biggest in this game is Mack Jones because the Colts have already given out their game plan. They're going to take away the run, which is obviously the Patriots' strength. You know what? You were taken with the 15th overall. You had a game where you just threw 3 passes, but you've had games where you've, thrown for 3 touchdowns and thrown for 300. It may have to be one of those games. There's no wind in a dome. So it's going to come down to Mack Jones throwing the football. But I think really the guy who's going to have the best game on the Patriots is Josh McDaniels. A lot of misdirection plays. I think a lot of those crack tosses. I expect to see Kendrick Bourne and Jonnu Smith involved in the run game. And that's where the Patriots, from a dynamic standpoint, become very, very dangerous. But yeah, it's to me like this is as I was saying, I think I said at the top, I'm not focused on winning the AFC. I like right now they're at the top, but the Chiefs are there. The Titans are still there. The Ravens are kind of there. The Patriots got to win out if they want the AFC. That's not my focus. My focus is the top of the AFC East. And I think if the Patriots can defeat the Colts next week or this Saturday, next week's game against the Bills isn't as big as it would be if the Patriots were to lose on Saturday. But it's going to be a good, tough game. It's going to be. It should be. I see a low-scoring game, and it's going to be a hard-fought game. And I look at it as a bit of a measuring stick game for the Patriots because you're going up against a good defense with a good interior who can get pressure and stop the run and have to maybe put the game on Mack Jones. And obviously, you got a running back like Jonathan Taylor. And as much as this is a passing league, when you look at a lot of those top teams in the league right now, they're all the best run teams in the league, right? They're all it's all those hard running teams. So it's very, very interesting. It's going to be a good game Saturday.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big-time watch. I know that you guys got flexed to Saturday, so it's going to be a prime-time matchup. And like you said, Ray, they definitely match up well against each other. I'm looking forward to that game. Dan, you guys got the Carolina Panthers. You said that Josh Allen's questionable. You got confidence in Mitch Trubisky if he is called upon. So what's your thoughts about this game coming up? And what do the Bills need to do in order to get the dub?
So I feel like once it comes down to it, I think it's going to be in our favor. I mean, I would love to have Josh Allen go out there and take snaps for this game. But really when it comes down to it, the Buffalo Bills need to win out. We really, really do. And at the end of the day, I would say looking at the rest of the schedule, the only challenge that we have are the Pats that following week, right? So if there was any game that I want Mitch Trubisky to be out there, it's going to be this one, the Falcons, or I'm sorry, Richie, the Jets, right? We need Josh Allen for the Patriots. We really, really do. So if Josh is not ready by any means, if he is not 100% ready, I'm saying if he's 95%, no, don't even risk it at this point. You got to put out Mitch. That's exactly why we ended up putting him out there. He has experience being a starting quarterback. He has all the weapons that he possibly needs. Our offensive line is finally healthy again. Now that we end up finally having Spencer Brown, that's most likely going to be back. We have John Feliciano, who's going to be back out there, having a solidified offensive line moving forward with that. The weather is going to be cold, but it's going to be more on the sunny side, like no 55-mile-an-hour winds. So the passing game is going to be able to open up. The Panthers defense is actually very good on a personnel-wise. I mean, obviously, you always need to worry about Stephon Gilmore, who is going to be that corner that we need to worry about. They have a pretty decent pass rush, and their secondary is pretty good as well. But what the Buffalo Bills need to do is we need to go out there and we need to take care of business. Like I'm telling you, like we need to win out. That's exactly what needs to happen. I'm going to be the biggest Colts fan on the face of the planet on Saturday night. We need them to go out there, and we just need them to scrape away a win. I feel like it is going to be a lot closer, exactly like Ray was saying. But as far as the Bills are concerned, we just need to go out there and take care of business. We're a better team on a personnel-wise. We're going up against Cam Newton or maybe PJ Walker. Who knows if they're going to go on ahead and do like a little sort of from that. But, I mean, I have confidence that the Bills are going to go out there and take care of business. But we just need to hope that Mitchell Trubisky's number is called, that he can go out there and he can do enough for us to win. And then Josh Allen comes back completely healthy and ready for New England once we end up traveling to Foxborough that following week.
And you're all going to have Sam Darnold, not the other guys.
Sam Darnold.
He's off the IR. Activated him today.
They said that he started the game.
If Cam's not going, it's going to be Darnold. That's what.
Let's go, Sam, baby.
You're screwed, Dan. Sam is going to light you up.
I mean, if it's Sam, yeah. Okay, well then I know, and so I know that we're winning this game on Sunday.
Sammy D, man.
Okay, so
Sammy D.
We'll go from there.
All right, Dan. That's a very interesting take. We will see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. So, TD, obviously, do I really have to ask you your thoughts about this game coming up?
I mean, we have a bye this week.
Oh, that you got 2 buys in a row. So why don't you give your thoughts about the Jets and Dolphins game coming up?
Well, Richie, I wasn't disclosing all the information, and I'll be honest with you, since you told me about all your injuries. We've been hit with the COVID bug. All 3 of our running backs got COVID. We've been signing people, bringing people in. They just declared that Duke Johnson is going to be playing. Malcolm Brown, they just lifted off of IR, so he's back. Dolphin fans may not even know that, by the way. and we'll see how that goes. Beyond that, our safety Javon Holland has COVID, so we're not sure if he's going to be available to play. So we're really just crossing our fingers, hoping that some of these guys come back. But at the end of the day, we have the team that should be good enough to handle business and get the W. I think we've realized we don't care how we get the W. We just want to get it at the end of the day. And it should be a good game where we're going to pretty much rely on Tua Tagovailoa. We're hoping he has a huge game. Last time the Jets gave us a good, little fight. We kind of still made some late strides to end it, but they gave a good little fight. So hopefully in this game, we get a great performance by Tua, and he leads the way with the defense, of course, and another W. On to the next week.
We got a dono from Kevin Lee. Heads up, AFC. Miami is coming, and we will continue our historic run as we go into the playoffs, then eliminate the 2 seed. It's coming. Go Fins. Kevin, I appreciate the support.
That's right, baby.
Man. I always see you supporting Jets media, even though you
Don't worry about it, Dan. Let's get that tattoo, Dan.
Appreciate the donation, Kevin. Appreciate it as always. But yeah, TD, I know that the Dolphins are banged up as hell, especially on that running back position with the COVID situation. I think that what the Jets need to do defensively is force Tua to throw the ball. And I feel like Tua has been making big time strides in the past couple of weeks. He's definitely, flipped Miami Dolphins fans, including TD's perspective of him. Earlier on in the season, they were talking about making sure they trade him away and all that stuff. But now Tua's actually been looking like a quality quarterback that could play within the system, and he's really intelligent in terms of making the right reads and making the short intermediate passes. So the Jets need to take advantage of the Dolphins, issues at the running back position in terms of health. I think that if we can make sure that we stop the run and we force Tua to throw the ball more than like 35, 40 times, I think that will be our only chance of us getting that dub. Obviously, the Jets are the big-time underdogs, as we should. The Miami Dolphins are red hot. The Jets have been so inconsistent this year. It's, more bad than good, obviously. But I think the biggest X factor in this game for the Jets is the defense, because when the Jets defense really clicks, it really is special, because the foundation of this Jets defense is the defensive line and the pass rush, and all the dubs that we've got this year, all 3 victories that we've got. That's when the defensive line got home to the quarterback. We had 7 sacks against the Titans. We had 5 sacks against the Texans. We had 5 sacks against the Bengals. That's really the bread and butter of this Jets defense. And when we don't get to the quarterback, we get absolutely pushed around. And I really think that the Jets defensive line needs to be on their A game and make sure they get pressure on Tua and contain the run. And when it comes to the Jets offensively, I'm really concerned, because this Dolphins defense is legit, especially in their secondary. And with all of our top 2 receivers out, I don't know if I have confidence in, our receivers get open, because I know you guys probably did not watch a second of that Jets Saints game, but our receivers did not do anything to help our quarterback out. Nobody was getting open. There was 0 inches of separation, and it was just Zach was out of rhythm all game long because of that. A lot of drops. So luckily, we're getting healthier at the running back spot. Then we got our top 2 running backs coming back, something that we did not have last week. And I think that we have to really rely on that run game and be a ground and pound style approach, because Michael Carter has proved to be a guy that can handle a big time workload. And Tevin Coleman is also a quality veteran. So I think offensively speaking, Jets need to rely on the run game and set up the play action for Zach Wilson to get him into rhythm and gain some confidence, because we saw Zach Wilson look really good against the Eagles, and then he's coming off a bad performance against the Saints. So hopefully he took some notes of what Joe Flacco did against the Dolphins, because I think he did a quality job of handling the pressure, handling all the 0 blitzes, the man-to-man coverage. I think Joe Flacco did a pretty solid job against the Dolphins. So if Zach Wilson can take notes and replicate anything close to what Flacco did, I like our chances, because like TD mentioned, the Jets did play the Dolphins really tough. I think that game came down to the wire, and the Jets just really, bit themselves in the butt. They had really crucial penalties, and at the end of the day, the Dolphins were the one that were able to close the door and get the W. So hopefully this is a competitive game that goes down to the wire, and we'll see what happens. But I can't say with a straight face I have confidence in the Jets pulling off the dub based on all the injuries that we're sustaining for sure. And we got a nice, generous donation from my guy King Jamie the Mad, a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Long day at work. Go Jets. Hi guys. Here are beers. Thank you so much, King Jamie. Always appreciate the support, my man. This is guys, a Kansas City Chiefs fan, comes through to all my streams and loves the Jets. And I really appreciate the support, my man. Always means a lot.
Chiefs guy. Awesome.
So now I want to talk about the rest of the AFC East. You can keep the Jets out of the conversation because they're not in the playoff race. So Ray, obviously you're sitting at the top of the AFC. You're not sitting at the top of the AFC East. You're sitting at the top of the AFC, which makes me sick to my stomach. So
Temporary.
what's your thoughts about the Dolphins and the Bills and basically the playoff race? Like, what's your confidence level of the Patriots securing that first seed, number one, and winning the division as well?
Okay, I'll start with the Dolphins and Bills. I think I said this off air. I wouldn't want to fuck with the Dolphins right now. You know, they're one of the hottest teams in football at the moment. You never want to run into a team. When it comes to the Bills, I mean, they're Jekyll and Hyde. It all depends which Buffalo Bills team is going to show up each week or each half. You know, like it's, yes, spectacular second half, but you went down 24-3 in the first half. You know, and I'm happy, Dan, that you got into you're not going to get on the penalties, because every week there's a penalty that could affect the game. You know, there was one in the Patriots. I get on this. I was pointing out against the Patriots and Bills, the phantom hit on Josh Allen, the phantom call on Josh Allen, where they said they hit him out of bounds when he was still in bounds. That was a third down play that turned into a 15-yard penalty and a first down for the Bills. Why wasn't it a big deal? Because the Patriots won, so we don't go back. Trust me, if the Patriots would have lost,
I agree.
If the Patriots would have lost, the Patriot fans would have whined about it the way the Bills fans are whining about that play on Stephon Diggs was a pass interference. It was clear as day. But the fact is, you put yourself in a position where one play affected the game. You can't do that as a team, right? Like that's just the way I always feel about things. Look, I always wonder, are the Bills going to be the team that beat Kansas City on Sunday Night Football, or are they going to be the team that couldn't put a touchdown up against Jacksonville? Like that, because that's the difference we see. We saw both teams play Sunday night against Tampa Bay. Like we saw the team that couldn't score a touchdown to the team that came out and ran the field. Josh Allen's hurt. Coincidentally, on one of the nights he ran the football the most and had a lot of run design plays. The Bills got to figure out a way to get that run game going. You can't depend on Josh Allen to be your running back. You know what I mean? Like it just, he's too good. And look, Josh Allen, and I'm not Tyson. I don't know how to talk shit. I tell it to people all the time. I'm not good at that
he's
shit.
Trash. Just say he's trash.
I can only say no, but like when you look at that game against the Patriots, there was a play he threw the football. I didn't even fucking see it leave his hands. You know what I mean? Like I think I even tweeted it out. Like I was like, I didn't even see it. Like the kid can throw, right? Like he's got the strength. You just never know what kind of Bills team is going to show up. You look at the Dolphins, Tua. I've been a guy all year that says I never blamed, outside of his injuries, and that's where Tua has been a concern for me. It's 2 years in a row now that he's got beat up. Outside of that, any loss that Miami had this season, I never turned around and said it was because of Tua. Like for me, it's like Tua always kind of had him in a position to win, and the defense would always let him down at the end, or they'd lose on a field goal, or they lose on this, they lose on that. So both teams are, again, the Dolphins team I wouldn't fuck with right now. Buffalo's a team that, depending which team shows up, you never know, right? And it's if it's the good Bills, you don't want to fuck with them. If it's the other Bills, you're like, all right, we can hang with these guys. So it all depends who shows up. And it's obviously what you want to do if you're Buffalo is be consistent especially going into the playoffs. That's when you want to build consistency. However, I point to the 2018 Patriots, who were inconsistent as shit until they went out. I think they blew out the Jets and they blew out the Bills at the last two games of the season. That was kind of where they identify, they set their identity going into the playoffs and they go to the Super Bowl. As for the Patriots, as I said at the beginning, I feel like we're playing with house money right now. So this is just fun. This is a fun ride to be on. My expectations aren't as high as most Patriot fans because they weren't high to begin with. You asked Richie, do I think they can stay at the top of the AFC? Probably not. They're already on a 7-game win streak. I think it's an ask to win 4 more. I think they can sit at the top of the AFC East. Again, they beat the Colts this weekend. It's almost wrapped up. Like I'm not, I know they know they can beat Jacksonville, and just the Buffalo game doesn't mean as much to us next week as it would if they lose to the Colts on Saturday. That's why I think Saturday is the biggest game of the year for them, and they could become the biggest game next week. But I mean, it's fun. It's Mack Jones is what Mack Jones is. I think he's going to be a lot like Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert hasn't had a massive improvement from last season, but he's still a decent quarterback and a good quarterback. And I think you'll get smarter and you'll get a little more seasoned, but you're not going to see these big leaps out of him. And the defense is phenomenal. I mean, the Patriots are going to live and die by this defense and by the run game. And it's not very different than when Tom Brady was there. And I know Patriot fans will flip on me for this, and and I love Brady. Brady's a GOAT, whatever, blah 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 blah. But it's always lived and died by the little things in New England. You know what I mean? And one thing that they've been doing the last 7 weeks are the little things. Defense has been outstanding. They're winning the turnover battles. The special teams has been phenomenal. And it's and that's one of the things you've seen in Miami too lately is they're doing all the little things, and that's what wins games, right? Brian Flores, who 5 weeks ago was on the hot seat, and they're going to run his ass out of Miami, and he was done. You know what I mean? Has probably secured his job now. And again, in Buffalo, just be the team you were in the second half, and you'll enjoy the rest of the season. But it just depends which Buffalo team shows up. That's my take on all three. As for the Jets, Richie, I mean, you're still a couple years. You got another good draft pick coming. It's coming. It's coming for you.
All right, Ray. I appreciate you bringing them up, even though I said you didn't have to.
No, you got it. You got it. Come on.
Jets fans will be okay. Just come to my channel to cope. I do Jets therapy sessions every Monday. You know where to go. Kevin Lee with another generous donation, $5. Hey, Richie, seeding predictions: 2 seed, Pats 2 seed, Buffalo 6 seed, Miami 7 seed, Pats and Buffalo out first round. So Kevin has all 3 of the AFC East players teams heading to the playoffs. Very interesting prediction there. Shout out to Kevin. Appreciate the dono as always, my man. So Dan, what's your thoughts about the AFC East? Obviously, the Bills are not where you expected them to be at this moment of the season.
Yeah.
So you see the Dolphins squeaking up behind you. You made a bet where you'd get a tattoo on your ass. So you obviously have a lot of confidence of the Dolphins not doing anything in terms of making the playoffs. And then you see the Patriots right back where they are. So what's your thoughts about the AFC East around the Bills?
All right. So I'm going to start off with the Dolphins. And I mean, I know that I have a jaded relationship with most Dolphins fans. However, I will say, I mean, I would have to agree with Ray that I think the Dolphins are the hottest team in the NFL right now. I really will. I think that their defense is finally what they should have been throughout the entire year. I'm sure that TD can go into a bit more of detail of whether or not that this was play calling, whether or not that this was just overall game plan. But they're finally becoming the team that they should have been going into the season. I mean, at the beginning of the season, if you were to tell me that it was the Bills and the Pats right now, I would tell you that it was absolutely crazy. I thought that it was legitimately going to be the Bills and the Dolphins this entire season. And they've gotten hot at the right time. So many Dolphins fans, especially toward the beginning of the season, they would always say, oh, man, like Tua is not the answer. He's not the answer. He's not the answer. He was never the problem, right? He was never the problem. I think that a lot of it had to do with defensive play calling. I think a lot of it had to do with that weak O-line that they had. But they're making work what they needed to work by right at the end of the day. As far as their next couple of games, I was actually pulling it up. Richie, I'm sorry, but I do see the Dolphins beating you guys next week. I do see them beating the Saints. However, I think the death knell to them is going to be the January 2nd matchup against the Titans.
Because y'all can't beat them.
I think the Titans are going to go on ahead, and I think that once they're finally healthy, I do think that they are going to be able to end up sort of putting down a nail in the coffin for yet another hopeful season. But at the end of the day, they would have to wait until the following year, which I do think that the Dolphins are going to be very good. One thing I do want to spread out some positivity. I do have a feeling that the AFC East in a couple of years is about to be very competitive, very, very competitive. I think, and Richie, including the Jets. I think in about a year or two, I have a feeling that all 4 of our teams are going to be, I would say, like an NFC West type of division back in their prime, where every team has a damn chance. No one can even confidently look anybody in the eye and say, this team's for sure winning the division.
Or even like the AFC North this year.
Or the AFC North this year. Yeah, exactly. So
I hope so, because that means the Jets are back.
Yeah. So the Dolphins, honestly, I think that they're definitely they're creeping up. I'm hoping that, because I did just say that I was going to get the TD PHINS TALK logo tattooed on my ass. If all 3 teams from the AFC East make the playoffs, I'm going to be pissed but happy at the same time, since the Bills ended up making it go down. But yeah, so that's my take on the Dolphins. I think that, they've hit a hot streak tremendously, but I think that they're going to drop that game against the Dolphins. I think they're going to drop that game against the Titans, and I think that the Pats will beat them, saying that they're not sitting their starters prior to the playoffs, say that they clinch a playoff spot, etc. The Patriots, right? I mean, I think that I am just as surprised as Ray, probably a bit more surprised than Ray, honestly, that this team was able to rally behind a rookie quarterback and be able to actually make a run with the offense that they have. Because, I mean, like when you look at the receivers that they have, right? No sexy names whatsoever. Of course, they ended up getting both of their tight ends with a Jonnu Smith and a Hunter Henry, who have been tremendous additions to their offense. Somebody that Mack Jones typically ends up going to in the passing game. The running game, absolutely insane. So I think that they're always going to be a threat at the end of the day. I think that the Pats are almost a for sure into the playoffs. As far as the AFC East, so much can happen. So much can happen. Because like I said a bit earlier, nobody knows who is good in the NFL. No one can legitimately be like, okay, who's a good team in the NFL? No one knows. Every single team in this league has been a Jekyll and Hyde for the most part, whether or not that it was a portion of the season or whether or not that it was every other game, like the Buffalo Bills. Loved what Ray said, that the Bills are super inconsistent. We don't know what team is going to show up. And I hate to be that guy. And I mean, I'm not going to sit here and make this as an excuse, but one thing I will say is that this offseason, a tremendous necessity for the Buffalo Bills is the damn trenches. Because you see, when it comes down to all of our starters on the offensive line, the second a man goes down, the talent level drops significantly. Most teams that are built great within the trenches, it's like a step or two down. When one of our starters on the offensive line drops, the person that's taking over their position, that their number is called, the majority of them would be lucky to be on a practice squad for the most part. I'm confident that now that our offensive line is finally getting back to what it was toward the beginning of the season when we pitched a couple of shutouts, when we were just putting up 30, 35 plus points per game that we were putting out, I think that we're going to be able to see that. I'm hoping that all of the stinkers that we have put out there this year, such as the loss to Jacksonville, such as the inconsistent play that we've been putting out, losing every other game, I'm hoping that that is going to be the end of it. It's going to be tight. It's really going to be tight. And might I say, I am going to be watching that Patriots and Colts game very, very closely on Saturday night. As much as I love Ray, as much as I love Tyson, I'm sorry, boys, but I hope the Colts go in there and just punch you in the mouth. Like, I hope that they just punch you in the mouth.
As
I
you
hope
should.
we take care of business. I hope we take care of business with Mitch Trubisky or Josh Allen, get that win, and then go into Foxborough. And let's just hope that the winds are less than 5 miles an hour going southwest that entire game, because we can't run the ball. We cannot, right? And unless your name is Josh Allen, we can't run the ball. And that is going to be one other thing that we need to certainly address. One thing when it comes down to it, and most Bills fans want to rip my throat out about this. They really, really do. But we are not built to play in the conditions, right? Which is terrible, right? Because we're from Buffalo, right? Like, I mean, like, that is how this football team stationed historically, especially in the 90s, was built out. Our team is not built to play in the conditions that Buffalo plays. We are way better on the road, minus the Jacksonville game, obviously. And I just think that unless your name is Josh Allen, we just need to continue to go back, and we just need to go back to the passing game. One thing that pisses me off more than anything in the face of the planet, last year in 2020, it seemed like that Dable completely took the leash off of Josh Allen. He just let him do his damn thing. This year, it seems like he's tightened it for some reason. He was in like the top 2 in the MVP conversation last year. And it seems like this year that Dable just all of a sudden, for some reason, just doesn't trust him anymore. And he's trying to run the ball when we clearly can't run the damn ball. He's trying to mix it up. Don't fix what's not broken. Do not fix what's not broken. Go heavy in the pass. And then if team is running, strict man, dropping as many DBs into coverage as possible, let them bust off a couple. Understand who the Bills are. I think the Bills need to understand who they are, and they're the 2020 Bills, and that's exactly what's going to allow us to win these next 4 games. That's where I'm at.
All right, Dan, I see you. Very interesting takes. I said this to Dan before we went live, and I'm going to say it again, and Bills fans are going to want to rip my head off. But I'm predicting if the Bills need to win their game in week number 18 in order to make the playoffs or not, they're versing the New York Jets. Bills fans, do you remember what happened in 2015? The New York Jets were 1 win away from the playoffs with Ryan Fitzpatrick making the Jets single season record for most touchdowns in franchise history. It's sad, I know. And we go to Buffalo, and the Bills were out of the playoffs, beat us for no reason. They didn't have no reason to beat us, and the Jets missed the playoffs. So, Dan, I want my revenge. And if it comes down to that, I hope we can get our revenge on you because that still haunts me to this day. I'll never forget that moment. But I just realized that now that we're versing you in the last week of the season, and very, very unlikely that it happens, but I want to put it in the universe, because why not? The Jets have nothing else going in our favor. All right.
Fair.
All right, so TD, what's your thoughts about the AFC East? Obviously, you think that Dolphins are going to win out, right? So enough about the Dolphins talk. What's your thoughts about the Patriots and the Bills, and what's your optimism level that the Dolphins can actually go in front? And you said in the chat this morning that the Dolphins can win the division. So how can they do that?
So I'm gonna say I'll say the bums for last. So I'll go with the Patriots first. Okay. The Patriots are a great team because of Bill Belichick. He coaches them up, like Ray said, to do the little things. It's attention to detail. Don't make the big mistake. You don't have to be explosive. You don't have to do anything outside of character. Just keep playing sound football. Truth be told, you may not even be better than the other team across the field, but you play good sound football. You leave the building with the W. But the last four for the Patriots are tricky because, in my opinion, they can do as well as 3-1, and they can do as bad as 1-3. And I think they'll end up 2-2, just to be fair, put it in the middle, and that will have them winning the AFC East probably at 11-6. But you can't sleep on that Colts game. That's the one right there that gets them a little shaken. It makes them like, now we have to beat the Bills, And then Bills are due for revenge because it's not easy in a division. You like to always split, and you don't know which version of the Bills you get.
True.
They're going to beat the Jags. Okay? And Ray knows it's better than anyone. If they want to count any loss for the rest of the season, there's a big chance that that's the Miami Dolphins. Doesn't mean we're the only team in the conference that beat them so far in the whole conference. It's just December. This is history. December, it just doesn't bode well, especially coming down to Miami. And this is a team that has each other's number, really. I don't think, they have our number, we don't have theirs, or vice versa. We actually have each other's numbers, and we play a similar game. And that last one was more of a dogfight than people realized until you saw the season go. At first, you may have thought it was just two teams just slow pacing it, taking what they can get, punting, and trying to get stuff here and there. But that was actually, when you look back, it was a slugfest. It really was a slugfest. And we came out on top because they did something uncharacteristic. Turned the ball over at the end, and we did too. But they did it last. And that's all that mattered in the game. And that's what cost them the game. There was nothing outside of that. Their run game, their pass game, nothing was over the top. Vice versa for us. Nothing was over the top. Who made the turnover? And that's just two teams just battling it out. And in the way we're playing now, I feel real good about it. And like I said, New England can go 3-1, but it is not far out of reach for them to go 1-3. Now, I want to say this though, because it's possible for them to go 1-3, and if they do, they end up 10-7. Okay. Now we're gonna sit the Pats to the side, and I'm gonna come back to them in a second. But that's 10-7 for the Pats if it goes down like that. Then the Bills, in my opinion, the Bills can end up 3-1 in the last four, and they can be as bad as 2-2. Okay.
True.
I can see that Panthers game not being a walkover like everybody will think. Because again, you have to factor in which Bills are you going to get. The Pats game, that can be an easy loss, or they can be their redemption. The Falcons game, that's another one just like the Panthers. I feel like don't sleep on. That's the trap if any one of them is. And the last one, the Jets, that'll be a W. Now, let's say best case scenario, I told you they can go 3-1. That'll end them 10-7, tied with the New England Patriots. Do you know who wins that tiebreaker between Buffalo and New England? New England does.
The Patriots.
New England does. But
so,
that
so what goes after, like, with the tie? So, like, the next thing is the AFC record or the division?
No, conference.
It's conference record, then it's
which New England would beat you as well. They've only lost one, and that's us. And even if they lost all those games that I just told you, it'll put them at 4, and y'all already have 5 losses in the conference. I mean, y'all already have 5 conference losses. Okay. Now, the reason why I bring up New England 10-7 potential and Buffalo's 10-7 potential is because if the Miami Dolphins win out, we'd be 10-7. And Ray knows who wins the tiebreaker, Ray.
Oh, yeah. The Dolphins, if you guys win out, yeah.
If we win out, we would leapfrog them both and win the AFC East. And that's Patriots got to go 1-3, of course, but it's possible. Now, let me get off my high horse. It's not going to happen. Okay. I do see the New England Patriots continuing to play solid football, but I do see where, from a playoff positioning standpoint, they will have to play the Dolphins tough in the last game. It's not going to be that, we get to chill. They're going to be probably fighting for the number 1 seed, and they're going to go after it. Not sure they're going to get it because I really do think we'll beat them in the last game, but who knows? So that's that. Buffalo, I'm sorry, Dan. Y'all could literally end up 9-8, bro, if y'all go 2-2.
It's a strong
y'all would beat us in any tiebreaker, but still, y'all. I mean, 10-7, we got an 80-something% chance of making it if we win out. And it ain't guaranteed for us either. The Tennessee game isn't the one that I'm worried about. A lot of people are. It's really the Patriots game because, again, you don't know how it goes. Because I just feel like that last game, if the Patriots are playing for the 1 seed, they're going to come. Belichick is going to look at the last game and be a little bit more prepared. This was the first game of the season that we beat him, might I add. And I think that he's going to make it rough. I still feel like we can get the W, but who knows, that's the toss-up game that's always tough. So that's where it gets scary for us. But that's how I have the other teams, the rest of them playing out. Patriots playing great football. They're well coached. Mack Jones, I want to see him this week, what he's going to do, having to probably throw the ball more. Because I've already seen a lot from him this season, and I like him as a quarterback. And I think that he follows the system and does exactly what he's told to do. But I also admire the fact that he does check out of plays and put him into better plays at such a young age and time in his career. That's the biggest thing that goes under value that he does, to put his team in good positions. There's passing play calls where he gets a look and he changes it to a run. People don't understand how huge that is for a team. The Bills. Oh, let me sit up.
Oh, God.
The Bills. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, let's get something straight here. Josh Allen is a bum, okay? I done told y'all this every freaking week. Now, let me explain, Dan. I ain't say a word when you was talking about how
caliber that second half. He put that team on.
So, ladies and gentlemen, how many times I got to tell y'all this? I was live in that game. Dan Mitchell wasn't live during that game. He was missing in action for his own team. That's neither here nor there. But I was live.
Even I'm live every game.
I was live the whole game. Ray, did you watch that game?
Yes, I watched that game.
Ray, let's see. Let me give you a quiz. In the first half, what type of defense was Tampa running?
Were they running zone?
No, sir.
Or were they going man to man?
They were right up in the receiver's face.
Okay.
Man to man. Let me finish, Dan. I was respectful. I didn't say a word. They were man to man, bump and run. I ain't talking about no 6 to 8 yard cushion. Right in their face, sending pressure. I've been telling y'all from day one, all you got to do to Josh Allen, man to man, bump and run, send pressure, and he trash. They demolished him. At halftime on my channel, I said, now watch the Bucks do what they always do. For some reason, I don't know why they just idiots like this. Watch they switch to a zone. Right on cue. They go straight to the zone, and I say, watch Josh Allen start getting all these trash yards. Watch him start driving up and down the field. And sure enough, splitting defenders, throwing in the zone, comebacks in the zone, just lighting them up. And when the game came down to the wire, I said Tampa has stretched this out as long as they can, and there's literally like 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Watch they go right back to a man coverage. Man to man, shut them down again, went to overtime. What did they do again in overtime? Man to man, bump and run, shut them down again. It's simple. This is the same playbook. Go look at every playoff game you lost. The same playbook against Josh Allen. Man to man, bump and run, send pressure. But you got to have the corners and the guys to do it, and they can get to the quarterback quick. And Tampa Bay is that team. And for some reason, Miami's always that team for 2.5 quarters. And then we switch to a zone, and we get beat by Buffalo. Ask them every time they blown us out the last few years. We've been playing man-to-man bump and run for the first half, and y'all look like trash in the first half. Then for some reason, we switch the zone, and y'all blow us out. Am I wrong? Okay. Am I wrong, Dan?
All right. My turn, okay? Listen, if you were a defensive coordinator who completely abandons a game that has been dominating an offense, and during half, you're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just switch over to something that hasn't been dominating this team. You should be fucking fired.
I agree.
TD, the reason that they switched over to zone was because Josh Allen was burning them with their legs.
With his legs.
That's exactly why that they had to switch the zone.
You live with
it.
Had
to be able to account for him.
You live with it.
No defensive coordinator in their right mind is going to abandon something that has been dominating an offense.
So once again, where were those legs at the end of the fourth and in overtime?
The reason the reason that they switched the zone was the fact that Josh Allen was destroying them with his legs, hence opening up the passing game.
That don't excuse the fact that he can't pass in the man.
We had one drive in that.
He can't throw the ball in man-to-man coverage, bump and run with good corners.
We had one drive in that overtime position, okay? Really, at the end of the day, no defensive coordinator in their right mind is going to abandon a scheme that has been dominating a team. There's absolutely no reason why. The reason that they switched the zone was because Josh Allen was burning them, hence why opening up that passing game and allowing us to throw up 17 unanswered points. The only reason that it continued to not work was the fact that we had one singular drive. We had one single drive, which I'm pissed about. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that we just didn't have enough play calling. I think if anything to blame ever, in my opinion, would have to be the play calling for Brian Dable. So I never buy the only reason that this defense started letting up all these unanswered points was because we just decided to go to a scheme that is opposite of what's been dominating an offense. They had to switch to that scheme.
Dan, why was your quarterback trash for the first half? Why was your quarterback trash for the first half?
Josh Allen was 300 yards passing and 100 yards rushing. Right over
Why
there.
was he trash for the first half?
Watch the film, TD. Listen,
I'm just asking. I don't know. I don't know the answer. Can you tell me?
Yo, bro. Nobody was blocking. There was several times where I was tweeting during that game. I was just like, are the Bills so are the Bills going to block this drive? One or two? Our offensive line is fucking terrible. Okay, so once that ends up coming down to it.
Why was your quarterback trash in the first half?
Because of our offensive line. Okay, listen, bro, you would do anything right now if there was a blockbuster trade,
Tua has a worse O-line and look better than Josh Allen.
TD, if there was a blockbuster trade sending Josh Allen over to Miami in April, you would be clicking your heels, my friend. I promise you, you would.
Blockbuster trade. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna lie to you, Dan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would give a 7th round pick for him. Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. That's fine.
Come on.
If you want to send him, he can sit behind Tua.
You don't even believe that Josh Allen is the best quarterback in this league.
Bro, he can.
Yo. You put Josh Allen behind the New England Patriots offensive line, we're losing 2 fucking games.
Bro,
Ray would agree with me. Ray, wouldn't you agree with me that if Josh Allen were the quarterback for the New England Patriots, that y'all would lose in maximum?
Bill Belichick could catch a fit if he was back there. All that wild stuff he does.
Don't ever compare anybody to the Patriots. I've started to realize there's a type of quarterback that works on New England. They wouldn't know how to use a Josh Allen. And his schoolyard ball wouldn't work in New England. That has nothing to do with,
because it ain't a winning formula.
That has no. It has nothing to do with Josh Allen. We saw it with Cam Newton, though, and forget how Cam Newton has gone down. It's I've discovered it takes a certain type of quarterback to play in New England to have any success. You got to just not have a creative bone in your body and just do the simple things. Josh Allen's way too creative to play.
You got to be able to read defenses that's not zone.
Dude, really, at the end of the day, we have the best quarterback in the AFC East.
Oh my gosh!
Hands down.
Stop lying to yourself, man.
You can't even.
Who's better than Josh Allen?
TD.
Tua Tagovailoa
you are out of
way better than Josh Allen.
You are out of your mind.
Josh Allen is out here throwing 50% completion everywhere. He's a bum, man. Just say, Dan, the day he can kill a team, the day he rip a team apart playing man that plays man to man and send pressure,
the Dolphins.
That'll be the day. That'll be the day I'll give him some respect. This man, I have been telling you this for years, and every time y'all got bounced out of the playoffs and every big game, because Tennessee did it to you too, it shocked me because they're his own team, and they ran man on this bum, and they blew you out both years, 2 times in a row. And it's always a blowout when you play those kind of teams typically. You lucky that this one wasn't a blowout because they switched schemes. I would have let Josh Allen run all he wanted so he wouldn't have been in a leg boot. He would have probably been on IR. See, you play into other teams' hands running him like that. Do you know your own team didn't hand the ball off one time by halftime?
Because we can't run the ball,
Not
man.
a single –
we can't.
You still got to ask for respect and do it anyway.
So Josh Allen threw his team on his back.
No, you had
a quarterback in this division that you could rely on to win a game for you. Unless
y'all didn't run the ball because you had PTSD from the Patriots running the ball on y'all.
With 55-mile-an-hour winds. With 55-mile-an-hour winds.
And y'all, you know what? That's what's funny to me. Any offensive coordinator that throws the ball 30 times and 55-mile-an-hour wind ought to be fired. How about that?
Listen, no quarterback besides Josh Allen, maybe 1 or 2 others, can even attempt to throw a ball in 55-mile-an-hour winds, and he still was making some crazy-ass fucking completions.
And missing some, too. Missing the game winner above all.
Dude,
the game-winning pass looked like Sam Darnold.
Hey.
You are out of your mind.
He looked like Sam Darnold in his dyslexic prime.
Dude.
Bro, Dan Mitchell, I can't wait till y'all sitting on the sideline on the AFC. You make sure you attend the AFC East roundtables when the playoffs start.
You know what? Hey, Richie, you know what? Go Jets, man. Go Jets, baby.
Let's go.
Jets.
Jets.
Yeah, it's not going to work, bro.
Next week.
The Panthers about to get Last thing, Richie. Dan and the Buffalo Bills fans are so nervous that this man just said out of his own mouth. I mean, and Ray, I want you to think about this too and tell me if I'm off. The Buffalo Bills are freaking 7-6. And one of their biggest fans is sitting here saying on this roundtable, it's okay if Josh Allen doesn't play this game. We'd be just fine with Mitchell Trubisky. Bro, you're 7-6. You're not even guaranteed the playoffs. You would want to be at your best. Or are we having a moment of honesty? Trubisky is y'all best.
Damn,
Okay,
TD's out for blood today.
Clearly, what I might say is the fact that I don't want to risk making Josh Allen's injury worse. I trust Trubisky to win this
What's
game.
wrong with him, Dan?
An easy W.
What's wrong with Josh Allen?
He has a sprained ankle, my guy.
I'm
not trying to have him get hurt.
A sprained ankle.
Oh, come on. Dude.
That is so cute. Oh, my God. Oh, Josh, a sprained ankle. Oh, you took a rest today, huh? And Trubisky got the first team reps, huh? Because you got a sprained ankle. What, is that your leader? Is that your leader?
All right.
Sprained ankle.
Go Jets on Sunday, okay?
I can't wait to Carolina beat
Richie, send me a jersey, okay?
I got you.
Send me a jersey.
Join.
I will wear the
Bills
Jets jersey for that game.
It's not happening. They're not winning.
It's at 1. I was gonna say, come join the stream.
I will.
They're not beating
during
us,
halftime. During halftime, I'm about to hype up those Jets fans.
We're coming, baby. Zach
Man,
Wilson.
that'll be your birthday gift if we lost. That's I bet.
All right, guys. So we're 1 like away from 100. Who wants to be the 100th like?
Hit that like button.
If you guys are not liking that button, we greatly appreciate that. We got over 280 people watching with 99 likes. If you guys enjoyed this edition of the AFC East Roundtable, please make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel. It helps out the AFC East Roundtable grow. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, talking some smack in the chat. We see everybody getting into their own banter. We're live. You know, TD and Dan are getting into fights. There's fights going on in the chat. Ray and I are sitting back like this. I got nothing to say, and Ray always says he doesn't know how to talk trash. So trust me, guys. When
Ray
the Jets
says it with his gestures.
When the Jets are something, I will be talking trash. Unfortunately for myself, I don't have anything to say. I have no inputs. If I say anything, there's no validation. So let's go Jets. And that's going to do it for this week's edition of the AFC East Roundtable. So we're going to go around the table one more time and say your final goodbyes and what you guys cooking for the next couple of weeks. So Ray, starting off with you, my man.
Yeah, come on over. Follow me on Twitter at DPN_Ray. Find me over at DeanBlundell.com. I'm their football blogger over there. You can also find copies of my podcast there. And then I got a YouTube channel too called Talk of Football with Ray.
There we go. Dan, how about you, bro? You doing anything
going on, man? So, I mean, I've taken a hiatus. I've had some personal things going on. So, I mean, I've been gone since the Pats game. But we'll be back tomorrow with a preview for the Panthers game, and I will be streaming Sunday at 1 p.m., rallying the Bills fans going on. And I'm coming back hard, baby. Harder than ever. Okay?
Take that L. You're going to take an L.
Real Dan Mitchell.
Great to hear.
TD Fans Talk, home of the real Miami Dolphin fans. Everybody out there, thanks for tuning in. This show is always a hit every Wednesday night. If you I started a business. If you want to help me out, send some business my way. I do ankle therapy. You know, anybody with sprained ankles and stuff like that.
Get the hell out of here, man.
Hit them up.
Serious.
Have them give me a call. I want to help them out. You know, maybe it'll help them in man-to-man coverage. But it's CD Fans. I'm out.
Let them know, Dan. Make sure you pour another glass for me, my man. You had a stressful night. I love everybody in the chat. We appreciate all the support. We appreciate all the hate. It means a lot to the channel. You guys know where to find me. If you want to see my weekly predictions, that's over on Touchdown Kingdom. I come out with that every Tuesday. Appreciate all the support on Jets Media. I'll be live during the Dolphins game if you guys want to come in and talk smack over there. You guys know where to find me. You're basically on my channel. So that does it for this video, guys. Make sure you smash that like button if you guys are not already, and subscribe to all the channels linked down below in the description. And let's go Jets. Let's upset the Fins this week and send TD back to the bottom, baby. Let's go Jets.
No.